Lesson 2, Chapter 1, Discovering the Computer World for Grade 6. In this second lesson, we will continue reviewing the skills captured in grade 1 to 5, and the duration of this lesson will be for one period. No need for software. Many examples you can give in order to make sure that students acquire those skills, and interactive PDF is available to test your students if those skills are acquired. And at the end of this lesson, students are asked to identify the main hardware components included in the computer case, such as the motherboard, the CPU, the hard disk, and the RAM. We will start by the motherboard by explaining them that it is the biggest element in the case. It is designed by man and manufactured by a robot, since the motherboard is really complicated and electronic components are placed in a critical way, such as the man can't build it manually. The conception is made by the man and it is manufactured by robot, and its main role is to connect all input devices to the output devices. And we can compare the motherboard. Look here, the motherboard is compared to a road network that connects all houses together. So you can give them the example of the road map in your city, where it connects hospitals, restaurants, schools, banks, houses, and so on. So exactly, it's the same. The motherboard is compared to a road map network. And then the example here, it's like the text is typed. It goes from the keyboard to the screen through the motherboard. Then after we go to the CPU, it's compared to the brain of the human being. It is compared to as the part where calculation are done. So it's the most intelligent electronic component of the computer, in which all the calculations and the processing of information are performed. The speed of the CPU is measured in gigahertz. The latest technology of CPU is called iCore 7, or of course there is a newest model. The CPU is integrated on the motherboard and it's cooled by a fan. Why it is cooled by a fan? Since it processes hundreds and thousands of information per second, so it will heat easily. So we need this cool fan to be on the CPU. On the other page, we'll go to the RAM, the random access memory, which is a memory. Once the computer is turned off, it will be emptied. So the information is temporarily placed in the RAM in order to make the work faster. The RAM is a temporary storage memory. It is faster than the hard disk or the CD-ROM. Before closing any program or turning off the computer, you must have or save the document that exists in the RAM, unless it will be lost. And the size of the RAM, it is measured in gigabytes. It's really clear. So the example or the idea here is to give the students that the RAM is made since it is faster than the hard disk. The read-only memory, the ROM, it's not really important to make, but you can read with the student the paragraph, and then after you will tell them that the ROM is the memory that the manufacturer of the computer will program to store inside the steps to follow in order to know how the computer will store. The hard disk finally is the main storage medium on which we have or we save software and documents. The hard disk is integrated on the motherboard. It saves information even if the computer is turned off. Any program that you install on the computer is saved to the hard disk because it's a mechanical function. So here is the answer. It is slower than the RAM, and of course the capacity of the hard disk, it is like in gigabyte or in terabyte. Now we have 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte and more. An external hard disk is used to perform the backup operation. So, and we know, and you can ask them what is backup operations. Normally viruses attack program and documents. That's why we install an external hard disk in order to perform specific backups on this external hard disk.